collaborative design effort here.
All right, thank you all. Trying to stay out of the light there. All right, first off, I just wanted to thank CFRT and Bruce for inviting me here. It was really a great opportunity to talk about the collaborative design. And it really, Wright as an organization really embraces the idea of working closely with the customers and trying to solve some of these new problems. And obviously the problem that Bob brought to the table was quite intriguing. So at Wright we do have a concept that we continually try to push to the community, which is collaborate with our customers, understand their problems, and create solutions. Obviously, Wright just a little bit about us. We are a global leader. We work in technical environments. We're about a 75-year-old company and have been doing that for that entire time. We have a state-of-the-art factory that gives us the capability to be able to do just-in-time manufacturing. We can do changes relatively quickly and to be able to bring products to market very quickly. So we thought we were a good fit. And ADC brought us this problem, and their problem was quite unique. They obviously had a business model for co-location. They need to be highly adaptable and flexible to their clients' needs, and they had an opposing business demand. They needed an optimized total cost of ownership. We heard a lot from Pete Rumsey and the team about some of the requirements in that facility. Those actually turned out to be some pretty stringent requirements around a containment methodology, because there's a lot of unknowns with no known client coming in the door. You don't know about their racks. You don't know about how they're going to configure it. I heard about some freestanding equipment earlier, which is all good problems to solve. So they needed that green cooling solution that could integrate a free cooling system with a heat containment strategy. Traditional containment that would be affixed to a rack or rack dependent was just not going to work for them because they had no known about the rack. So what they needed was a vendor neutral, rack agnostic, freestanding heat containment solution that allows a complete capture of all the waste heat and can expand with the client needs. That was kind of a unique challenge. We enjoy those types of challenges, and I think we stepped up to the plate. Some of the key ingredients to make sure that we could get off to the good start and be able to bring this product to market for ADC and the team was a clear purpose. They had that. Bob had worked very closely with Rumsey engineers. They knew exactly what they were looking for, and they could clearly articulate that to us. That was key. We are also set it up as a team. We really became a team. Between three organizations, between Wright, Rumsey, and ADC, we all put together a very good, trusted environment where we could open and collaborate. And everybody was definitely motivated and participated. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And obviously have a clear action plan with activities to meet and make sure we meet those milestones. Meaning, really all we did is say, this is a goal, we all agree on this goal, we're going to set a roadmap to be able to get there, and we did do that. And this, to us, is really what every team member needed to be a part of. You need to be a multifaceted individual, needed to have all these key components to be able to survive in this environment. It was, in the collaboration, everything is a give and take. There's trade-offs to be made, and understanding what impacted me as a manufacturer may not be a consideration for Bob or Pete, and what Bob's considerations were for bringing forth a green data center may not be what I have in mind. And having a common profile for team members that look like this was pretty good and common. So we set the course. And essentially the business case was formed. We knew what we were looking for. We had an initial introduction of all the players, and we talked about some of those ideations, and you saw some of those early concept drawings, and we set forth on a regular stipend of meetings where we really sat down and investigated, all right, what are some of the requirements? And those requirements turned out to be two different things. Some were constraints and some were preferences. And just to try to understand those constraints end up like, there's a column here, you can't put anything there, it's got to hold up the building. Versus a preference, geez, I'd really like it to be blue. and you start to parse those out, and those start to drive design criteria. Obviously, we start to go through a lot of our planning and procurement, get some of the initial concepts down, start bolting some of this stuff together with some designs as we pass back and forth. And this was an iterative design process, and it really it culminated in a prototype review. Later, anybody who's going over to see the prototype, you'll actually see it. This was our first rev of knocking off a few designs back and forth, going for a full design to be able to be manufactured. Release that to the manufacturing team, make it, build it, have everybody come look at it. We were able to get to that about 4 to 8 weeks later. And then after that, we launched the alpha version, and that's what's actually out here today. So that was a culmination of the entire event. And really to be able to get there, it was quite a road. And if I could say any key thing that got us there was open communication. And I'm sure the team can all speak to this, but we had regular meetings where we had open communication, and a lot of times those meetings could get over very quickly. It'd be like, oh, Bob, we're at this stage, we're at a certain milestone, we're committed to moving stuff into the factory. It happened on Wednesday. They started cutting steel on Thursday, and we're moving on down the line. It'll be in welding next week. And it could be literally that quick, but getting that type of update and the free-flowing information, and then some of the other requests that would come in and requirements that would come in through those communications were vital in the design process. So essentially, what did it teach us? Not all collaboration projects are equal. We did have some luxury of time. As I spelled out, we did have an amount of time to be able to get this done. That was actually turned out to be critical to be able to refine it and get something out of the factory that was physically big. Knowledgeable end user. I can't say enough of that. To be able to clearly articulate what their problem was and what they needed us to do, and for us to be able to go with it with an open sheet of paper and a pen and try to get the job done. That turned out to be a critical component. Concept drawings. Being able to take that first verbal conversation and put a line on a paper and says, is this what we just talked about? That turned out to be an important step as well. And just so I can understand the verbal conversation and the communication that you may have just gave me, I can say, all right, I can take that, I can formulate that, I put that on a piece of paper and show it to you. Have a conversation about that. And then, of course, good project coordination, project management skills, and being able to collaborate. Some of the original concept drawings. You saw this earlier. This was really where we started, and this is one of the first ones that we had produced. And we knocked this one around for a while. A lot of the key attributes that are in this product are what we talked about, but a lot of this actually drove some of the design elements of the product to really unreasonable levels, and we'll talk to that in a bit. And as you can see, this is more of a finished product where it's currently at today.